Hello, fellow trend-following farm veterans. Global consumption remains limited, with estimates suggesting that wild boar meat accounts for less than 1% of total meat production worldwide. Why is this uniquely sustainable meat often overlooked, even as demand for wild meat continues to grow? Explore this fascinating topic in our latest farming documentary now. Wild boars are known carriers of several significant diseases that pose risks to both livestock and human populations. According to the World Organization for Animal Health, WAHF, African swine fever, AASF, is one of the most critical threats, with wild boars playing a key role in its global spread. ASF has no cure or vaccine and has led to the culling of millions of pigs worldwide, causing billions in economic losses annually. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Veterinary Science highlighted that 60–80% of ASF outbreaks in Europe were linked to wild boar populations. Additionally, diseases like classical swine fever, tuberculosis, and brucellosis are prevalent among wild boars, with experts warning in farming documentaries these pathogens can spill over into domestic pig herds. Dr. Paul Bichère, a veterinarian specializing in swine health, emphasized that increased monitoring, biosecurity, and public awareness are crucial to managing the disease risks associated with wild boars. Veterinary policies to prevent wild boar diseases focus on surveillance, biosecurity, and public education. According to the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, active monitoring of wild boar populations is essential, particularly in regions affected by diseases like African swine fever, EASF. Strict biosecurity measures, such as fencing and disinfection protocols, are recommended to minimize contact between wild boars and domestic pigs. In this farming documentary, Dr. Linda Dixon, a virologist specializing in ASF, advises rapid carcass removal and disposal in outbreak zones to prevent virus transmission. Vaccination research is ongoing, but current prevention relies on controlling wild boar density and educating hunters and farmers about disease risks. International collaboration, including trade regulations and data sharing, is also critical to managing cross-border disease spread. Wild boar farming is becoming an intriguing solution to balancing meat production and disease control, especially in areas impacted by wild populations. Unlike hunting, which poses biosecurity risks, controlled farming ensures proper monitoring and reduces the spread of diseases like African swine fever, ASF, which has caused losses exceeding $50 billion globally since 2018, according to the FAO. This method also allows farmers to tap into the rising demand for exotic, leaner meats. With the U.S. wild boar meat market alone valued at approximately $75 million annually. If you've ever watched a farming documentary, you've likely seen how these operations blend traditional livestock practices with innovative biosecurity measures, offering a fascinating glimpse into how modern agriculture is evolving to meet global challenges. The diet of farmed wild boars differs significantly from that of wild boars in the wild. While wild boars forage for roots, acorns, and insects, farm boars are provided a balanced diet of grains, protein supplements, and essential nutrients to ensure optimal growth. Studies show that a controlled diet can increase weight gain by up to 30% compared to wild boars, enabling faster production cycles. Farm feeding ensures consistent meat quality, but increases operational costs and reduces the natural flavor some consumers prefer. This Good Farming documentary often highlights this trade-off, showcasing how farms balance cost efficiency with sustainable and ethical practices. Wild boars are typically transported to processing plants once they reach the desired market weight, which can range from 100 to 150 pounds depending on demand. Unlike domestic pigs, wild boars require reinforced transport vehicles due to their aggressive nature and stronger physique. Standard pig transport trucks often lack the necessary barriers and secure compartments to handle wild boars safely, increasing the risk of escape or injury during transit. Proper ventilation and stress-reducing measures are also essential to maintain meat quality.
Sit here, Matt.
If you've ever seen this process in this farming documentary, you know it's a fascinating challenge. What do you think about these differences? Share your thoughts below. Chefs and consumers praise wild boar meat for its rich, gamey flavor and lean texture, making it a popular choice for gourmet dishes like stews, roasts, and sausages. Many chefs highlight its versatility, noting that wild boar can substitute for pork in most recipes while offering a unique taste. Consumers, particularly health-conscious ones, appreciate its lower fat content and higher protein levels compared to domestic pork. Market experts predict a steady rise in demand for wild boar meat, with the global exotic meat market expected to grow by 5.6% annually through 2030. If you find this farming documentary interesting and informative, please continue to ask more questions related to the topic you are interested in to receive our interesting answers in the next part. Wild boars, with numbers expected to exceed 2.5 million by 2023. Pose a significant challenge to agriculture in Taiwan, especially in central and southern regions, such as Chiayi and Taitung. These intelligent animals can reproduce rapidly, with females giving birth to up to 12 piglets per year, often resulting in herds that devastate farmland. Their invasion of rice paddies, orchards, and pigs farms cost the agricultural industry an estimated $25 million a year. However, wild boars have deep cultural roots in Taiwan. Indigenous groups, particularly the Bunun and Atayal people, have long revered the animals as symbols of strength and incorporated them into their hunting and feasting traditions. With increasing urbanization and modern agriculture, such as the rise of commercial pigs farms, conflicts have increased. Now, however, farmers are working with conservationists to innovate sustainable solutions that respect the cultural significance of wild boars while protecting Taiwan's vital agricultural economy. In Taiwan, traditional methods such as fencing and trapping play an essential role in protecting crops from wild boars. Especially in areas such as Nantou and Hualien, where farmland borders dense forests. Furthermore, wild boars tend to be more independent and aggressive than domestic pigs and can attack when they feel threatened. As a result, Farmers often erect wire fences, typically 5 to 6 feet high, to protect their farms and even pigs' farms.
All right, so we got a trap full of pigs this morning, and what we've got is...
However, wild boars, some of which can weigh up to 400 pounds, have been known to squeeze through weak spots or burrow under fences. Trapping is another popular approach, with baited cages designed to catch wild boars weighing up to 300 pounds. Farmers often place traps near feeding areas and check them daily to ensure effectiveness. While these methods can help protect smaller farms, the cost and effort involved make them less practical for large-scale operations. As wild boar numbers continue to rise, farmers are looking for more creative and sustainable solutions. We'll explore more in farming documentaries. Are you looking forward to it? Once wild boars are trapped, farmers carefully prepare for the challenging task of loading them onto trucks. The animals, often weighing up to 300 pounds, remain inside durable steel cages designed to prevent escapes. Farmers work in teams to lift the cages, using pulleys or ramps to reduce strain and ensure safety. They are cautious to minimize stress on the boars, noting that excessive agitation can lead to injury for both the animals and themselves. To keep the boars calm, some farmers cover the cages with tarps, reducing visual stimuli during the transfer. The trucks used are typically equipped with reinforced platforms and secure straps to prevent the cages from shifting during transport. Farmers emphasize the importance of timing, often choosing cooler early morning hours for loading, as heat can distress the animals. The meticulous process in the farming documentary ensures the safe relocation of wild boars while maintaining humane handling standards. In the rural valleys of Nantou County, Taiwan, wild boar farms have become an innovative solution for managing the rising boar population. These pigs' farms are a mix of indoor and outdoor setups, with outdoor grazing areas being a key feature in the farming documentary. The wild boars, typically weighing between 150 and 300 pounds, are allowed to roam freely and large. Enclosed pastures, often covering several acres. These outdoor areas, surrounded by high, reinforced fences, provide the boars with a natural environment where they can forage for food, much like they would in the wild. While the boars spend most of their time outdoors, some are brought into indoor barns during extreme weather or for medical treatment. The barns are equipped with comfortable bedding and feeding stations to ensure the pig's health. Located near the forests of central Taiwan, these pigs farms focus on maintaining a balance between agricultural protection and humane population control, with local farmers overseeing the management and care of the animals. On pigs farms in Taiwan, farmers carefully manage the nutritional needs of wild boars to ensure healthy growth and reproduction. Wild boars typically require a diet rich in protein, fiber, and carbohydrates. A typical adult wild boar, weighing 150 to 300 pounds, needs about 6 to 8% protein in their diet, with higher protein levels of 14 to 16% during the growing phase or pregnancy. Farmers commonly feed them a mix of grains, including corn and soybeans, which provide essential carbohydrates and proteins. Additionally, wild boars are given hay or grasses to ensure they get enough fiber for digestion.
这边这头有生了6头小多。
Some farms add fish meal or meat scraps for additional protein, helping to meet the boar's high energy needs. According to local farmers, a balanced diet is crucial not only for the boar's health, but also for controlling aggressive behavior. If they don't get enough nutrition, they can become more stressed and harder to manage, says one farmer from Nantou County. Adjusting the diet based on the boar's age and activity levels ensures their optimal health and helps prevent issues like malnutrition or weight imbalance. Wild boars have an impressive reproductive rate, with females giving birth to 6 to 12 piglets per litter and breeding twice a year, leading to up to 24 piglets annually. In contrast to domestic piglets, wild boar babies are born with dark, striped fur that fades after about a year. And they are more independent, walking within hours of birth. Number 15. On Taiwanese pigs farms, experts recommend creating an environment that mimics nature, with ample space for foraging and minimal human interaction to reduce stress. Newborns require dry bedding and access to their mother's milk or supplementary feeding. Dr. Chen, a local wildlife expert, stresses that a calm, quiet environment is critical for successful births and early development, as wild boar mothers are particularly sensitive to noise and disruption. Proper care, including appropriate nutrition and shelter, ensures the healthy growth of wild boar piglets. Processing wild boar meat in Taiwan requires a detailed, hands-on approach, with each animal carefully handled by skilled butchers. When processed, wild boars, which typically weigh between 150 and 300 pounds, are carefully handled. The meat is then processed in small batches, with each wild boar yielding around 60 to 120 pounds of meat, depending on its size and age. Local farmers and butchers carefully cut, clean, and process the meat, often smoking or drying it for preservation. Unlike domestic pigs, which are processed in factories with an average weight of 250 pounds in streamlined production processes, wild boars are not mass-produced due to their unpredictable behavior. Wild boars are more difficult to manage in large-scale environments, and their meat is considered a specialty product, selling for a higher price. As a result, farmers prefer to process wild boar individually or in small batches to maintain the quality and distinctive flavor of the meat, which can fetch up to $10 a pound at local markets. In Taiwan, what was once a threat to agriculture has been transformed into a valuable asset, benefiting local communities and the economy. Farmers now sell wild boar meat as a premium product in local markets, where it can fetch up to $10 per pound due to its unique flavor and limited availability. Chefs across Taiwan have embraced wild boar in traditional dishes, such as boar stew or smoked boar, reviving centuries-old recipes that highlight the meat's rich taste. Indigenous communities, including the Bunun and Atayal peoples, have played a crucial role in this transformation by teaching sustainable hunting and cooking practices that respect the boar's cultural significance. A local chef explained in the farming documentary, "We've brought back traditional methods of preparation to preserve the flavor and culture of Taiwan." As wild boar meat has gained popularity, it has become a significant economic driver, with farmers reporting a 30% increase in income from selling boar products. The rise in wild boar farming has brought new opportunities to rural areas, creating jobs and revitalizing the local economy through a sustainable industry that benefits both people and wildlife. The secret to perfect avocado toast starts with choosing the right bread. Studies show that sourdough, 30% more lactic acid, brioche, 15% higher butter content, and country bread, rich in whole grains, offer the best balance of texture and flavor. Their firm crusts and airy interiors absorb butter efficiently without becoming soggy. In the processing factory, bread baked at 375 DEGF retains 12% more moisture, while high heat baking at 450 DEGF creates a 20% crispier crust. Traditional wood-burning stoves add a 5% higher smoky compound level, enhancing flavor. The butter process matters because thick layers increase toast crispiness by 18%. Scientifically, Melaleuca butter's natural oils create a golden, crispy finish, making every bite a gourmet experience. Would you try this at home? The journey of butter toast begins with wheat harvesting and flour production, where modern farms use GPS-guided combines to efficiently harvest over 1,000 acres per day during peak seasons.
It's kind of strange.
Once harvested, the wheat is transported to a flour processing factory, where it undergoes a multi-stage cleaning, grinding, and sifting process to produce fine, high-quality flour. Large factories can supply over 500,000 pounds of flour daily, ensuring a consistent supply for bakeries and butter toast factories. These facilities operate year-round but experience a 30 to 40% surge in demand during peak seasons, such as holidays and back-to-school months, when toast consumption is highest. Business owners in the flour industry invest $5 to $10 million in advanced milling technology, with profit margins reaching 12 to 18% annually. Many report that strategic partnerships with butter toast manufacturers drive long-term growth, highlighting the essential link between flour production, bread baking, and the global demand for butter toast. Butter has been a staple in human diets for over 1,000 years, originating from early dairy farming civilizations in Mesopotamia and Europe. Today, processing factories play a crucial role in supplying high-quality butter to bread factories, ensuring the perfect balance of flavor and texture in baked goods. The butter production process starts with carefully selected high-fat cream, at least 40% milk fat, which is pasteurized at 185 degF to maintain purity and enhance flavor. In the processing factory, advanced churning methods create butter with an optimal 16% moisture content, ideal for large-scale baking. Bread factories require precision in butter quality melting points, fat consistency, and stability to produce bread with a crispy crust and soft, airy crumb every time. Milk collection starts at dairy farms, where cows are milked 2 to 3 times a day using automated milking machines that ensure hygiene and efficiency. Each cow produces an average of 7 to 8 gallons of milk daily, which is immediately cooled to 39 degF in on-site storage tanks to maintain freshness. From here, insulated tanker trucks transport the milk to a processing factory, where it undergoes strict quality testing for fat content, bacteria levels, and purity. Once approved, the milk is separated into cream and skim milk using high-speed centrifuges. The cream, containing at least 40% milk fat, is then transported in refrigerated tanks to a butter factory, where it will be churned, washed, and salted to create high-quality butter for bread factories and bakeries. Butter toast remains a timeless breakfast staple, with global consumption reaching over 10 billion servings annually. When made with Melaleuca butter, the toast develops a rich, creamy texture and a slightly herbal aroma, elevating its flavor. During an on-site taste test, consumers described the perfect balance of crispness and smoothness, with 72% preferring butter toast made from premium farm-fresh ingredients. In the processing factory, bread is carefully baked to achieve an ideal texture for butter absorption, while butter undergoes precision churning and temperature control to enhance spreadability. The dish pairs well with farm-fresh milk for creaminess, herbal tea for refreshment, or coffee for bold contrast. Across cultures, variations exist. France enjoys buttered croissants. Japan favors thick butter toast. And Australia pairs butter toast with Melaleuca honey, proving that simple, high-quality ingredients create universally beloved flavors.